Because I heard he could really play.
No. He can't even be Shakur.
He can't. Who?
You.
What's Shakur lied to you?
You lost. I seen the videos.
You ain't seen my video.
Oh, I didn't.
Exactly.
I just see the video.
Exactly. What would happen? Exactly.
Boxing, he's definitely talented. You know what I mean? And he's definitely got that it. And yeah, he's definitely respected in boxing. But Shakur is a different fighter. You know, Shakur is different. You know, people may call him boring. People may say he can't punch. But they say the same thing about Floyd. Because they defensive fighters.
Yeah.
He knows that. That's why he's like, he's boring. He's this, he's that. He's trying to diminish everything that Shakur have done. So it's not marketable. But he can't do that because Shakur is world champion.
Terence Crawford just poured gasoline on the scene. He confronted Devin Haney, then didn't hold back at all when talking about Shakur Stevenson. And while the comments stirred instant controversy, Crawford's message was crystal clear. Shakur's defense is the real problem, the kind of elite skill that makes him insanely dangerous, and if anyone thinks they can overlook him or take him lightly, they're setting themselves up for a brutal wake-up call when the big fights start coming.
Your little brother, you know what I'm saying, Shakur, that's the fight. Everybody want to see that. That's the 50-50, I think, you know what I'm saying? I've been saying 50-50. I told both of them that. That's a toss-up to me. No bias. Don't just say that because you're a man. Who you got winning that?
I got Shakur. People may call him boring. People may say he can't punch. But they say the same thing about Floyd.
Crawford made it sound like the truth nobody wants to say out loud. He believes a lot of fighters, including Haney, don't really want that Shakur Stevenson fight, because Shakur isn't just tough, he's the kind of opponent who makes you second-guess everything in the ring. And that's exactly why so many guys are hesitant to step in with him.
For your little brother this week, in Shakur Stevenson, I've interviewed both of you for years, and you really have kind of built a relationship that a lot of people know about. Some people maybe don't. How good is Shakur Stevenson in your opinion?
He's not good, he's great. And I think tomorrow the world will take notice of how great he is. There's a reason why certain fighters didn't want to take the chance to step in the ring with this fighter. He's great. A lot of people started saying, oh, he's a runner, he's this, he's that. Just to detour people from being excited to see him fight because he's not knocking people out and all that crazy stuff. But they would see why people really don't want to get in the ring with him come tomorrow.
I know you've shared the ring with him tomorrow plenty of times. What makes Shakur Stevenson great? What makes him different? What makes him, I don't want to say an ilk of yourself, but in the same kind of era, the Bud Crawford era, he's got a Shakur Stevenson era.
Everything. The offense, the defense, the poise, the rhythm, the distance, the timing, punch placement, the react time. Like, I can go on and on. You know, the toughness, the grit, the grind. Like, he's amazing. You know, and tomorrow he will show it.
How do you think it ends tomorrow night? Do you believe that Shakur Stevenson can stop Teofimo Lopez? Because people aren't really talking about that.
Listen, if T.O. get out of line, you know, he can get hurt. You know? But I see Shakur outboxing him to a decision, a unanimous.
Bud gave Shakur Stevenson his full respect and made it clear he sees real greatness there. He praised Shakur's high-level boxing IQ, his smart game planning, and the clean technical skills that let him do exactly what he wants in the ring. And when you mix sharp tactics with perfect execution like that, you're not just good, you're a serious problem and a fighter everyone has to take seriously.
When I'm in there with Shakur, you know, it's just a chess match, you know, because Shakur is a thinking man as well. So it's definitely a chess match, and you know, that's something that, you know, I love, he loves, because now we got to be creative. We got to be, you know, we got to go in that bag and be like, man, I can't do this with him because it's not going to work. So now I got to get more creative to get a little advantage over him, because we both competitive. Neither one of us want to let the other one get anything off.
Devin Haney came out with full confidence and said straight up that he's absolutely going to fight Shakur Stevenson, because in his eyes this matchup is way too big to ignore. There's huge money on the line, the stakes are massive, and he knows the fans are calling for it loud, so he's framing it as a fight that has to happen.
Your name without saying Shakur, Teofimo, Tank, right? It just is what it is. Is that fight going to ever happen? Would it ever happen against you and Shakur?
100%, yeah. I think so. I think it.
You think Shakur will grow into whatever weight
Yeah,
you're
I
in?
mean, we're all of us is close to the same size. You know, we're all growing together. We're all like, you know, getting bigger. And it's only so many guys, like y'all said. It's only so many guys that we could make big money and people want to see the fights. Which even though I know that they making new guys, it's guys like getting Kermel, Abdullah, all these guys want to come up too. So eventually they gonna be there too. But yeah, no, I think that a fight with Shakur is very much possible. We tried to make it happen a while back, but you never know.
On a recent podcast, Shakur Stevenson and Terence Crawford touched on Devin Haney for a moment, keeping it centered on respect, real competition, and looking at things from a career standpoint, and Shakur made his position clear. He's not picking and choosing. He'll fight whoever gets put in front of him, and that includes elite names at the top like Haney.
Right, whoever they put in front of you.
What about Devin Haney?
But here's the reality with fights at this level. Getting two elite names in the same ring is rarely simple, because it turns into a chess match over purse splits, TV and streaming rights, promoter politics, and how much risk each team is willing to take for the reward. And Shakur has already been honest that he's only chasing fights that make sense for his money and his career, which could be a big reason this Haney matchup isn't official yet, because a lot of people believe the holdup isn't fear from either side. It's both camps fighting for the best deal, and in mega fights like this, that's usually exactly what it comes down to.
I try to be real careful on what I say.
True. This has got Jay on Twitter. He a big Haney fan. He be always clipping and changing stuff, Jay.
Yeah, they gonna make a narrative as if like I'm scared of. I think Devin's a tremendous fighter. Do I think Devin Haney can beat me? Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm on a different level than everybody.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to boxing, because Devin, he's a boxer.
Crawford's connection with Stevenson isn't just random talk. Over time he's consistently shown real respect for Shakur's skill and boxing IQ, even calling him special because of how smoothly he can read opponents and adjust to different styles right in the middle of a fight. And when fans complain about Shakur being too defensive or too calculated, Crawford backs him up by reminding everyone what boxing is supposed to be. Land your shots and don't get hit, a mindset tied to all-time greats like Muhammad Ali.
Ain't nobody beat Shakur. I'm saying Shakur beat everybody. It don't matter who it is. Shakur beating them, so it don't matter. Shakur over everybody. And that's how it's gonna be. Man, that boy's special. That boy's special, man. Shakur's, you know what I mean, one of a kind. You know what I mean? He adapt to every fighter, and then once he adapt to you, it's
Floyd Mayweather has given Shakur Stevenson real public respect more than once, mainly for his clean technique and high-level ring IQ. And while Floyd hasn't literally said Shakur is the best in the division, he's repeatedly pointed to Shakur's skill set as something above the rest, even breaking it down by saying Tank Davis is the biggest puncher in that weight range but Shakur is the more complete and technically polished boxer. Tank brings the explosion, Shakur brings precision, defense, and elite fundamentals, the same kind of qualities Floyd built his whole career on. And that respect isn't new either, because going back years when Shakur was still a young prospect, Floyd reportedly told him he saw something special and even hinted that if anyone had the talent to challenge or even surpass some of his records, Shakur could be that guy.
Got guys fighting between 130, 135, and 140. They stack, you know, around that area. So, I mean, as of right now,
skills that pay the bills.
Well, the two guys, well, the biggest puncher, I feel, at the 135 would probably be Gervonta Tank Davis.
Mm-hmm.
But the most skillful fighter at 135 would be hands down Shakur Stevenson.
And what is it about him? Because I know he have a lot of good attributes, but do you think he has enough power to sustain?
Well, it's really all about skills. Pernell Whitaker wasn't a huge puncher, but he was, I mean, very exciting, very tough, and he fought everybody. And Shakur is trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best.
Devin Haney is on a mission to prove he's not just a champion, but a true elite-level fighter, and he knows legacy doesn't come from playing it safe, it comes from taking on the hardest opponents available, which is why instead of protecting his record he's been openly chasing the biggest challenges, especially Shakur Stevenson, a matchup fans believe could define this entire era, because this isn't only about titles, it's about respect, pride, and settling who the most complete boxer of this generation really is, and Haney believes that beating an undefeated, high-skill operator like Shakur would shut down the critics who still question his greatness, while the money, the worldwide attention, and the non-stop demand for Haney to face other top names only proves he's right in the middle of everything happening in the division, and this fight is exactly the kind of moment that can change careers.
Fights are not possible. Would you be more inclined just to move up to 140?
Yeah, you know, if I can't get those fights next, or it doesn't make sense for it to be next, I'll probably go to 140, test it out, see how I feel at the weight at 140, and then when the time is right, then, you know, I'll defend my belt at 135. We'll just see, though. I got to go back and talk with the team and see what makes the most sense.
The talk around a Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson showdown keeps getting louder, but there's still a major roadblock stopping this fight from becoming official, and that's what makes it so frustrating, because both men are clearly in top shape right now, disciplined, sharp, and technically elite in a way that makes them nightmares to beat, while their undefeated records and recent performances keep proving they're consistent, professional, and operating at the highest level, and Haney hasn't been shy about it either, directly addressing Shakur and making it clear he's ready to step in with him, speaking with real confidence and chasing a challenge that could define his legacy, all while admitting Shakur is a serious, dangerous opponent that nobody can take lightly.
Haney gonna concede to that? I doubt it. So there's a major obstacle in the way. But nonetheless, as you watch these two fighters fight, you can clearly see, outside of cheating, they're more than likely not going to lose, right? With that said, Devin Haney immediately responds to Shakur, Shakur responds to Devin, right? Again, we had the initial four kings. It was Devin, Ryan, T.O., and Tank Davis, right? It was supposed to be the four kings 2.0. From the Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearn, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran.
Shakur Stevenson has answered Haney's comments too, letting it be known he hears all the noise and is open to a future showdown. And his response doesn't come off like he's ducking anything, it sounds like he's waiting for the moment when the fight makes the most sense both in competition and in money, and that back and forth shows real mutual respect while also exposing the chess game thinking behind mega fights. Because at this level it's not only about what you can do in the ring, it's about timing, negotiations, and long-term career planning, and right now both men look locked in, alert, and ready, but they're also weighing the risks and rewards before they sign on the line.
For this, plenty of times, I asked him, do you feel like you're Wilfred Benitez? Because we had that four-king era, but nobody mentions Wilfred Benitez. And the fact remains is Wilfred Benitez beat Roberto Duran as well. And Roberto Duran is 1-4 against those guys. He beat Sugar Ray Leonard the first time. Outside of that, Roberto Duran, he lost to he quit against Sugar Ray Leonard. He got knocked out brutally by Tommy Hearns. He got outboxed by Marvin Hagler and outclassed by Wilfred Benitez. Right? But he's overshadowing Wilfred Benitez. And I felt like these guys, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Tank, and T.O., overshadowed Shakur Stevenson. And now Shakur Stevenson has shined the light by dominating Teofimo Lopez.
Shakur Stevenson delivered a statement performance against Teofimo Lopez, and trainer Boozy Andes made it clear this wasn't just a win, it was a high-level shutdown. Because what shocked people most was how Shakur seemed to box for long stretches like he had only one fully working hand and still made it look easy, snapping a sharp, accurate jab in Lopez's face all night to control the distance and set the pace from start to finish, with every step and every move looking deliberate, and his footwork, timing, and defensive awareness showing serious discipline and top-tier ring IQ that completely took away Lopez's athleticism and aggression. And for everyone who kept saying Shakur didn't have the resume or hadn't faced real elite opposition, this fight flipped that whole argument on its head.
I see greatness, man. I see greatness. Shakur, And Shakur practically beat him with one hand, man. That jab, man. Most important hand you have, man. You know? And he looked good doing it, sharp. You know what I mean? Distance. He did everything, man. He did everything right, man.
A lot of people thought it would be a tough fight because Teo's athletic, Teo's experienced, he's fought on a high level.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they were critical of Shakur. Oh, he ain't fought nobody and this and that.
Yeah.
He made Teo look like everybody else.
Made him look like an amateur. Made him look like an amateur. Yes.
Now, technically, what did you see? Right? Where did Teo go wrong in that fight?
Where he went wrong?
Yeah.
Fighting Shakur. That's where he went wrong. Fighting Shakur. I knew he just running his mouth. He just was talking, man.
Even with a slightly injured left hand, Shakur Stevenson stayed in full control from the opening bell to the final round, leaning hard on a steady, non-stop jab and only using the left when he had to because of the discomfort. And as Bosianis pointed out, Shakur probably could have turned it up and gone for a stoppage if he really wanted, but he fought the smart way, choosing clean control and precision instead of taking pointless risks. Because this wasn't just about skill, it was a show of ring IQ, patience, and calm under pressure as he adjusted on the fly, protected the injury, and still outclassed his opponent with timing, footwork, and elite defense, leaving the Philly crowd and fans everywhere watching a technical clinic that only strengthened his case as one of the top fighters in the sport.
Yeah, Shakur knows he could have got stopped and shit, but Shakur hurt his left hand. His left hand was hurt. If you notice, he was using that jab a lot.
Yeah, jab and then the hook.
And he threw the left hand every now and then. Because I was screaming out. Everybody said they heard me in Philly.
Yo, we can hear you on the TV.
Yeah, that's my young buck. You know what I mean? And I was telling him, throw that straight left hand. Then I noticed when he did throw it, he wasn't throwing it real hard. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But he looked spectacular, man. You know what I mean? You can't ask for nothing more, man. And with me, I don't care about what people say, man. They always want to talk about you and say, oh, he should have did this, should have did that. He did everything that he was supposed to do.
The Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney fight has turned into one of the biggest talking points in boxing because fans know it's elite skill on elite skill. Both guys are fast, disciplined, and hard to beat, with Shakur bringing world-class defense and laser accuracy while Haney answers with sharp timing, smooth footwork, and smart combinations. And that clash of styles is exactly why it feels so unpredictable and so exciting, because people keep replaying their past performances and debating who controls the pace, knowing every moment matters. Momentum can flip off one clean exchange, and one small mistake could decide the whole thing. And with pride, rankings, and long-term legacy all tied to it, this wouldn't just be a fight, it would be a career-defining statement for whoever comes out on top.
So it's like maybe something that Devin can definitely go out up there with ease, only need to deal with the size, but he's probably gonna have the speed advantage because he's a smaller guy coming up. So, I mean, you tell me, do you feel like that's gonna be harder than the Lomachenko fight?
No. I think Loma probably be his hardest top 2 or 3 fights in his whole career. I could predict that even going to the end, you know, to say if Devin fight 8, 9, 10 more years, that'd be one of his top 2 or 3 hardest fights because the age that he fought. Loma was at his very peak. He was at his peak, he was older, he was right there at his top peak.
Should Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson fight next, or should they take a different route first? And if it happens, who do you have winning? Haney with the timing, footwork, and combinations, or Shakur with the defense, accuracy, and ring IQ? Drop your comments and tell me your pick.
Make sure you like, subscribe to Fighters Arena Pro, and share this video with every real fight fan out there. Much love from Fighters Arena Pro.